Oh man, happy Friday, everybody. I'm Nick Slavik. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavik Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of this show, Ask the Painter Live. It's a weekly live Facebook show where we use over 2 decades of experience as a business owner and a craft person to answer any questions. And like I always say, I don't have all the questions, but the people that are connected with this show do. And this guy right to my right is a good example of that. This is Mauro Henrique, and he is the painter for this old house. And he is kind enough to join me today on the show. Mauro, thank you so much, man.
Hey, no problem. Hi, everybody. My name is Mauro Henrique. Like Nick said, I've been painting for a long time, and it's a really pleasure to be here with this guy there and be part of this beautiful organization, this message that is transmitting to all the colleagues and all the painters out there. Yeah, let's talk about. We get some good stuff coming, and let's talk about this brother and all this happening with that guy there.
Yeah, man, this is to say that this is an interesting year for people in the trades and painting contractors and business owners is an understatement. I mean, it started off this year. You can tell me if I'm off on any of this. We started off the year with what we could argue is the best economy we've ever seen in our lives. And then very quickly it went from that to possibly being struck down by the government to now possibly coming out of it with just as strong as a man. How that's been my experience here. What's your experience been at Eastmont?
Nick, I'm having a little trouble with the audio. You're breaking up a lot. I don't know if it's my audio or it's your audio that's like it's really like a little echo at the end.
I'll get you. Let me make an adjustment here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I was just summarizing the year being very interesting, being a paint business owner and a crafts person, which is super strong economy. COVID shut us down, and we're sort of back. What's your experience been this year?
Well, what I think, I decided to, first of all, I decided I was not going to be a painter. So, you know my story. I was going to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
I was like this carpenter helper for like 3 months this we go back like in 1988, 1987. And then like the old story, the painter one day didn't show up. My boss came in and said, "Hey, do you know how to paint?" I said, "Dude, this is easy. You kidding me? Give me that paintbrush." Man, I saw this guy. He's an old Irish guy, really cool guy, and he was like the best painter I ever see so far. I know it because was my first experience with painting. They said, "Okay," but when I started painting, this guy said to me, "You have like like a day to finish this room. It's one of the walls to be done." Right? I haven't had painted before. It took my 3 days. He only gave me one day. It took me 3 days to get it done. But I got it done. So, I'll watch that guy say he was meticulous. And then I said, well, when I started to get that room done, I said to myself, this is fun. This is fun because I was like, I couldn't get my hands on tools. I was just like a helper. I was just like an apprentice. And it would take too long to get anything done with the carpentry work, in my opinion, back then. And I said, and this year, with a couple of days, I got this room painted. And that night, I went back home and I said to my wife, I said, you know what, honey, I think I like painting better than carpentry. And she said, "You're kidding me." He said, "Yeah, but I don't know, I might be wrong, but I start painting this room and I start feeling like, this is what I like to do. Although it's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of prep work that I have to go through, but I'm feel happy doing it. And I, like I said, I have a phrase that I say it today. Any painting job that you do, when you finish, you call it fast satisfaction because you put a smile on people's face. And that day, I put a smile on my own face. I say, "Shoot, this looks so good." And then after that, I said, I might as well do what I like. It's and this is what I started. After that, I started painting. And my boss got another guy, or a couple guys to help me out. So we start painting all his projects, and that's my passion. I found my passion right there, just like that. It's like couple of days, and I said, I love what I do. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna be painting from now on.
Isn't it interesting that, for those of us that have that scratch, painting, or those of us who have the itch, painting is that scratch. When it
Yeah,
works for you, it really, really works for you. And it's super satisfying.
exactly. And it's like this thing. So what is it? People you hire to paint, like say an interior room, people live to work, and then when they come back home, if you're only doing the walls, and when they come home, the walls are done. You can see there's take pleasure to see it. You can deliver that message, that room for them, and make them happy. It's like it's all fun. Painting is really fun to do it. Don't get me wrong. Like it's like
Yeah.
every time when you're in every time when you're in a project, I also said to the guys, all the trades, I tease them. I say, hey guys, who appreciates like a raw plaster wall? Who's going to pay attention to like a trim that has been unprimed? There's no paint on it. You guys did a great job, but it's not there yet. You're only going to see your work when I got there, when my guys got there, and starting to get the walls primed and painted, starting to get those trim and doors primed and painted. Then your work will show up. They said, you,
It's
I
so
said, yeah, but you know the truth.
It is so interesting because when I look at the Gantt charts and schedules for newly constructed houses, electrical and plumbing, week or two on some big houses, carpenters are there for multiple weeks, but then you see the painter and it's like 8 weeks or 9 weeks or 10 weeks. And these are simple builds. Sometimes it goes out 10 months. And you think, we
Yeah.
are one of the most underappreciated like sort of trades.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna mention that. Yes.
But Mauro, I'm open to the fact that we might be bad. I mean, I'm sure when you talk to an electrician, they're like, nobody cares about us, But when you look at how many man hours per house we put in, and
Yeah.
we get the most scrutiny because 90% of what you see is us. We are the culmination of every one of these homes. Everything that happens up to that point,
Absolutely.
and then we're judged. And then the other problem is what is good moves on every job because the client and the builder are now the arbiters of what is good and not the craftsperson. So I know we're biased, but this is tough, man. This is a tough trade.
It's up. It's tough. It is. I'll tell a little funny story. Let's go back years ago. I was doing this huge project in Lexington, Massachusetts, and as a matter of fact, was a farm stands, and there was like some designated parking spot for all the trades. We started like 5:30 a.m. I got there. There's no more spot. There was only one spot left, and I took it. Right, of course, I parked my truck there, and then one of the tradesmen came and said, "Hey, what are you doing there?" I said, "A spot. I'm parked there. That's my truck right there." He said, "But you're not even a trade, right?" I said, well, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're not even a trade. Painters is not a trade." I said, "Oh, you know what? You got it just right. Painters are not a trade. Painters are a bunch of artists. There's a different qualification to it. We are artists. We're not a trade. We're a bunch of artists that comes and make everything to look nice and beautiful." And then that was the end of the conversation with the guy. After that, he said, oh. At the lunch break or the coffee break, he said, "You broke my legs right there." I said, "I know I did it, but I want to break your arms too, man, because that. But it was just like we're good friends. It was like a joke, but I mean, it was like, he learned a lesson, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what is it like working at this old house with all the people that we've known and loved from this old house? I grew up watching these guys from since I was a little kid. You get to be on site with them. Tell us about this.
Yeah. Well, I'll start by saying, how do I get connected with those people? How do I get chosen to be there with those guys that I call them monsters? Like Tom Silva, Norm Abram, Kevin the Corners, Richard Chitrui, and Rogers, the landscape. Now we got a new girl, Jen Iwata. What happened was I was painting the house I used to do a lot of work at this town, Lexington. It's a very historical town in Massachusetts. And I painted this girl's house. It was like a complete renovation. I was going through a different contractor. And And then I just know that her name is something Kate something. I don't want to say the whole thing, but and then we paint the whole interior and exterior. And then when we finished the last day, she got like a pretty big kitchen, and we paint those cabinets. The colors are awesome. Everything was like beautiful. At the end, she said to me, "Listen, we're gonna have this house get together here tomorrow, Friday night, and my father will be here. I have no idea who the father was." And then she said, "He's going to give you if he likes your work, he's going to give you a call." All right, I'll say, "Okay, that's fine, that's beautiful," but I say, whatever. And then on the next Monday or the next Tuesday, he gave me a call. He said, "Hey, listen, my name is this guy. My name is Ross, and I wanted to come and check my house for me. I like what you done. We did for my daughter's cabinets, and I got a project for you." There was like around November, and he said, "Next year I'll call you." Um, okay, I was like, "That's fine." So next year he called me. It was like during the winter time. And he said, "I wanted to come here and check my house first before you do the cabinets for me." I said, "All right, that's fine." We went there, my guys and I, and they said, "I want you here 6:30 a.m." I was there like 6:15, waiting for this guy. I said, "At least it's going to be some interior work. We're going to be warm. It was going to be fine." But then he took me around the back. There was like this opening door with the plywood in the middle, and then this case of mahogany all over the place. And he said to me, "I want you to lightly sand that mahogany casing, and I wanted to put a coat of a penetrating oil on it." I say, "It's 35 degrees. That must be 35, 38 degrees. That's not going to help," right? He said straight up, he said, "You want to do it or not?" I said, "All right, I'll do it." He said, I'll put a tent here for you. We'll cover everything, so you'll be fine." He did put like, one of those electrical heat. So we did it. And then he said to me, I was there with two guys. He said to me, "Send you guys home, and what are you going to do now?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go to my next job." He said to me, "No, you come with me. Send you guys home." And I wanted to go, and I wanted to show more work that I wanted you to do, when the spring comes. So, fine, beautiful. We go there. He said, "But I wanted to show my shop first." How am I going to say this shop? Must be like an old bunch of saw machines, saw horses, and stuff like that, right? I think, "Gotta be kidding," but you're there, you gotta follow up the rules. I went around the back, Nick, and then once I turned around the building, everything was like windows were shut. There was no way to see what's inside from the windows. Go around the back, that sliding door, that Norm sliding that door with the New Yank workshop all the times. I looked at that door. I said, "I see this door before somewhere, but I couldn't figure it out." All right. He said to me, "All right, why don't you help me open this door?" When we opened that door, it was like everybody was inside the room. It's like his studio where they make it all the New York workshop projects. And there was Norm, Tom Silva, all the guys, producers, cameramen. And he said to me, I was like, almost have like one heart attack there. I said, "What's going on here?" He said to me, "Hey, I only know the guy by the name Ross." He said, "I'm Ross Omarash. I'm founder of this old house. And I love what you did to my daughter's kitchen. And I want you to spend the day here with me today. Introduce me to everybody." And he said, "Off cameras, I want you to go and help Norm, like fill up nail holes, a little caulking here and there. Just spend the day here with us." I said, "All right, that's fine. Out there." And then we spend the whole day. I end up going home that night, 8 p.m. All the time there, looking out things, talking to people, and then at the end, he said to me, "Okay, now you can go home. In April, we're going to start this project. And now you're not going to say anything. You're just going to do what you do, paint, prep, and stuff like that. So, but I want you to work with Norm from the scratch. Inside, you're going to be helping him. You're going to be priming stuff that needs to be primed for him on the spot." And I spent 2 months with Norm inside the kitchen, me and two other guys. But the first 3 days, I couldn't open my mouth. I said, I have like 10,000 questions for this guy. But Norm is like this guy. He doesn't talk much. But when he talks, you got to really listen to it because it's some really good stuff coming, some for you to learn. So then and then I started to feel more confident. We started talking, and And then one day we are about to finish the kitchen cabinet. He said to me, he said to the producers, "Put a mic on that guy there." I said, "Ross, I thought I was not going to say anything. I thought I was just going to paint and show what I do." He said, "No, you're going to say what you're doing. That's what I want you to do." And that's when I started. And then I did the best I could. But first time I was like shaking all over, and I was spraying the cabinets. The hand couldn't go steady. I said, anyway, I was having fun at the same time. I was like, scared as hell. But then he said to me, all right, yeah, we finished this project. And then Norm is starting to get me some work to, some of his friends. And then the Russ said, Tom Silva is going to call you. And he wants to start to see some of this old house projects with them. That goes back like 13, 14 years ago. I went to see the jobs, and that's when I started to work with Tom. Was like another straightforward guy. You don't mess around with him. It's like, I said, geez, I was like, every time I say, I have questions for those guys, right? You want to know, but they have some questions for you too. You better get ready to answer those questions. But at the end, everything went out nice, and I started to get more involved with the show, and started to get all the project for that. Then we start with Ask This Old House. It's a home. It's a home calls, and you call the homeowners calls, and and learn how they want to learn how to do it. They want to help with something. We travel around the country, helping people, and it's all good stuff. And then now it's a bunch of different shows. There's Pro to Pro, and there's the Idea House that they were doing it in Rhode Island, and most of the houses we do here in Massachusetts. But it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun, and then working with those monsters, what I called, is like it's really fun. It's really a pleasure to be there. Just to work next to them, it's really fun. It's all good. You learn every day.
Story with you before, Mauro, but it's not only do I love This Old House and New Age Workshop and all that stuff, and I've watched this since I was a kid, but imagine the excitement of somebody like us, craftspeople, when you actually see some painting or wood finishing on This Old House. Like back in the day, and now we have it's on YouTube, TiVo, we can pause it, this and that. But imagine watching public television on a Saturday morning and seeing somebody paint something, and you're like, this is it. This is my only chance. I have 3.5 minutes to see This Old House painters paint something, and you're just analyzing every inch of what they do. What are they wearing? What tools are they using? And I remember I watched you were painting the project. I forget the name of it, but it was red exterior siding. And I just remember watching over and over the portion that you were doing on there, just like, finally, a painter. We get to see an actual painter.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like, oh yes, here it is.
yeah, that was really good, because what happened is one day, it's like I said, when we start painting way back then, it's like there was no YouTube, there's no Ask a Painter. There was not, This Old House wasn't showing much about painting stuff, but from years back, us as a painter, a professional painter, we'd be much appreciated on any job site that you go, and people knows that we are not just the painters. We part of this whole project that makes everything happen, and we deliver it. We deliver the project, we deliver the quality, we deliver the beauty of it. Like you say, like
we got a question from a good friend of mine, Phil Klein. Phil's from Iowa. He runs his own painting business. He's actually going to be here in the war room for the master's class I was telling you about. He may have missed it, but running your own business and working for This Old House. What does your year look like? Is it a set schedule, or how does that work?
When we worked on This Old House project, everything is different. Everything is different. It's not like an ordinary job, because we got there. We do most of the work after hours, or especially when the filming crew is there, they own everything. When we start with this Old House, we started like sometimes at 5 a.m. and then we go 5 a.m. We go to 12 p.m. We go to 11:30, 12 p.m. And then when when everybody is there, it's tight schedule. Everything is tight. You have no room for messed up, no room for mistakes because before you, there's a lot of people. They do it. They do her parts, and then after us, there's a lot of more people to come. You know, and, we have to be on that schedule. No slack time. There's no time to say, "Hey, I'll do this tomorrow." No, we have the contractor now, Charlie Silva. We have a calendar on the wall that every 3 days, or as necessary, we have a meeting at 6:30 a.m. there because we have to go through and Charlie Silva talks to everybody, say at this day, this needs to get done no matter what because he has like we have a day to start and we have a day to finish. Saturday, Sundays is a regular day for us there. Hey, nice. It's a regular time. It's like that's why I say during the time when TV crew is there, they don't want to hear noise, especially if they doing some indoor scenes. Everybody has to be quiet. They turn off everything, and it takes like it's not like a 10, 15 minutes. It takes 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I believe
that's a chunk of the day that we could be producing a lot more work, but everybody has to be quiet. Everybody has to, it's fun, but it's very educative. You learn how to manage that time. If you're not familiar with them, then you're gonna kill yourself.
Is it seasonal now? Do they only film for is it only 3 months a year, or is it kind of a constant thing throughout the year?
Nicky, breaking the sound is not coming clear.
I'm sorry, man. I'll adjust here. Give me 1 second. I moved out to the country now, and the internet is not as good as when I used to have fiber optic in city limits. So, how about seasonal? Is the work with this old house seasonal, or is it constant throughout the year?
See if I understood the question more. It's every year we do a big project with them. When it's a big project, we only do one project, which would take it about. If we paint like a house, like the last one in Manchester by the Sea, North Shore of Boston, it's we spend about 5 months there. And we only do a little bit interior, but the most was, the exterior, a little bit of exterior. All the times that we spent was interior work. And then if it's a big project, it's one per season. If it's like a medium to small project, we do 2 per season. And there's other stuff that we gotta travel around the country. We have to do pro to pro. And the studio days that we do Ashley's Old House. There's some home shows that we have to appear. There's a lot of involvement with the organization, and you have to be available for that.
Yep. Okay, we actually have a painting question. Pat Coy, another paint business friend of mine, asks. He has a contractor whitewash some brick. Brick has never been painted. You need to apply a watered down primer first. And I assume when he says whitewash, they don't want a solid color paint. Number one, how do you do this? Number two, does he need a primer?
Sound is not coming, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Shoot. Let's try this. Sorry, I'm having some connection issues. Does that help at all?
It helped a little bit, yeah.
Okay, for Pat, he's going to whitewash some brick, never been painted. Do you prime first, or do you just use whitewash?
Whitewash wood, is that the question?
Yes, yep. Oh yeah, whitewashing brick that's never been painted before.
Oh, whitewashing brick. Yeah. One thing that I don't like to do is like using like an oil-based paint on masonry or bricks. I always look for either like a water-based stain. Okay, a masonry stain. That's the one I use for wash bricks. Just just work your way around. It all depends how much you want to see the brick, how much you want to see the white or whatever color that you're using. Just put on, just dab or wipe off with a cloth or get like one of those masonry paint, those brushes, and just work your way out. So create like a pattern. It all depends on how much you want to see. Or you can go also with some flat exterior paint, which brick is very absorbent. And that will suck right in. So that's the way I do it.
Agreed, and I think I've done a couple of variations too. Nowadays, there's a whole bunch of products, lime washes, and things made for this. Back in the day, probably like you, we just took some white exterior house and put thinning it down to the point, and then tried to, experiment. I've also done something. I had a client actually ask me once, like 15 years ago. She wanted me to. She saw something on TV, maybe watching you guys, but it was she took bags of mortar and you mix it up with water, you let all the aggregate go to the bottom, and you take that motor wash, that stuff with the slurry in it, and just kind of brush it on there like that. And it actually turned out pretty well. It didn't turn on the outside of the house, but I haven't been back there in 15 years, but that was an interesting thing that nobody's ever asked me to do since. So.
Yeah, I know. It's like back in the days, we are very limited to what to use and what's the best product. So, like I said, nobody could tell you. Nobody wants to help you back then. And say, "Hey, dude, what's the secret there? What is that? Let's get rid of those brush marks." I say, "Dude, you gotta learn, man. I can tell you that." So now today, it's like it's like a DIYers out there, especially at the center. They go nuts with painting and landscaping, but more than paint. So we've been doing this Q&As for Ask Us What House, and lately it's like I get like 500 questions and 200, 300 questions. It's all about related to paint, and people are, because it's really easy to do and fun, and people are getting to that, and the information is get to them, which makes it easy for them to do their projects. Like I said, back then we couldn't have anything like nobody would give us any information.
Yeah, it's a new breed of contracting nowadays, and this old house has been doing it for decades plus. But the rest of the contracting world is 4 decades behind because our parents' generation thought that there was secrets in contracting, and the only thing in contract with secret is money and experience, like the data points of doing it over. But now the painting world is especially like it. We all buy the same paint. We buy the same paint from the same 4 or 5 manufacturers. We buy the same brushes, the same 2 sprayers. It's like there are no secret paints out there. There's no secret stuff. It's just taking common sense and experience and applying that to the same gallon of paint that everybody else does and doing it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean everybody has their own way to do things. If you ask me, it's what is, of course, painting the door. You have the sequence to get the job done right. But people often on they ask me, what are the best paint brushes that you know and that you use? So right now, if you go to the home center or a paint store to look for a paintbrush, you're just gonna go nuts. There's there's so many. There's so different shapes and sizes and thickness. But what I think is you gotta have one or two. I tell you which one I like the best. I like you can't go wrong when you use the Purdy or the Worcesters. They get good quality paint. But now I'm become more obsessed with this Picasso. What they have those little semi-oval paint for cutting walls and trim and stuff like that. It's just beautiful. Those you gotta have those 3 kinds but you like better. But the most important thing is like, what do you feel comfortable with it? This is what counts. If you're comfortable, people said, "Oh, I like the 3 inches better, angle cut." I say, "All right, cool. I like the 2.5." And some people are like, "Hey, I like that. I like this. I like that." I say, "All right," but I mean, what's important is like, how do you feel comfortable with that? Some people ask me when I ask this sort of house, "Hey, why you always cut the walls from right to left?" Right? I said, "That's the way I feel comfortable doing it." And I know I'm going to get it done right, but I mean, it don't matter. You can go from left to right. The way I do it from right to left. If you like a, um, I mean, you gotta feel just comfortable. It's just like some things is like it's just about you. Not much about the material, but about you. And but of course, a good quality brush makes a huge difference.
Exactly. And we can both say that, again, you get asked probably as much as I do, you must have been asked way more. Like, hey, what's the best book? What's the best photo? It's like, I don't know. I know 8 people all over the United States that use all different things that do it better than I do. So you tell me. Like it's one of those I see people do great things with all sorts of stuff. I have my favorites just like you, but it's sort of like, I think the thing that people miss out on that equation is not just about brush, it's what did you promise to your client? And can you deliver it with the tools that you selected? Because all you need to do is make your client happy. If you can push the craft forward and do really, really good work, that's good too. But really all you can do is to make our client happy. And you know what? You can have to choose 6 different brushes and get the same result. So I don't know what is
Yeah.
best. I mean, what's your goal? Is your goal to be the highest work in the United States and never get paid for it? Or is your goal to make a whole bunch of clients super happy and have this super reliable tool that'll last forever and you never have to think about? Like lots of different equations.
Yeah, your technique, you're going to develop that technique as you go. You're not going to pick it up. Like, let's say we start to paint like last month. And then I tell my guys and the girls that work for us, I say, they anxious to get that finish done like a pro that been painted for us. You got to have patience. Painting is all about, first you get to learn all steps of preparations. 85% of the good paint job is the preparation. You have to understand that, and you have to go through those process for you to start painting. You say if you talk to any pro out there, they're gonna say, you have to prep first. That's how you learn, to get the best paint job done. Preparation, 85% is a rule. You have to go through that. If you skip any of those time that you have to spend there, the result of your paint job is not going to satisfy anybody, not even you. It's like choosing the right sandpaper. Clean up the surface before you prime. Sand it in before, clean up again. There's a lot more sanding and clean up than anything else.
Mhm. So in a couple more questions, Mauro, and then I want to respect your time. Running your own business, where is the friction in your business right now? Like if you could wave the magic wand and get rid of one small hurdle, what is that hurdle, and what do you do to solution?
Oh, that Nick. I don't know what, but the sound is not coming. It's not coming
Oh,
through.
sorry. I'm sorry. Let me see what I can get. See if I can type a message to you here.
Right.
um, so I was basically asking, like, if you could solve one thing in your business right now, what would it be? What gives you the most friction?
Let's see. What's if I can point? If I can do anything with my business, that's how I hear.
Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the audio.
It's all good. We'll go through that. We're all in this together.
Let me make an adjustment. Yeah, so I was wondering, in if you could, where is the friction in running your own business as a business owner right now? What is something you wish you could solve right now?
What's my portion? Nick is really breaking out.
I'm
Really. Do you
no
wanna do
worries.
you wanna do you wanna text me and I can get it and get the thing? Got it here. Hold on. I got it. All right. Yeah. I think the biggest concern at all is so the question again here, but I think the biggest concern around is a bad job done because when you go see a job, when you estimate that job, of course you're gonna have some room for some slack here and there, right? That's gonna happen one way or the other. But the big concern is like, to me, is the call back. When people call, wait, listen, I thought this could be done better. That's a slap in the face. Yeah. There's like those calls when you get those calls, you don't, but at the same time, um, sometimes it's my fault because as a business owner, any project that you're doing, no matter how many projects you're taking at a time, you have to be there and check it out before, during, and after the work and see if the quality was delivered or the expectation. You got to knock down that expectation, okay, from the customers because they will look um, for any holidays they can find. This is what they're going to look for. They look the quality, but they most important, most of them, they're gonna be looking for something that was not well done, what we call holidays. This is what they're gonna be looking for, and they're gonna look in the places that you can even think about. They're gonna be looking at. And then I tell you a story. Well, like one time we're doing this house, and um, as a contractor, we're gonna put a full coat of primer and 2 coats of finished paint on the exterior. And this guy called me and said, "Hey, listen, the back wall of my house has how many coats there's there?" He said, "There's only 1 coat and another one to go." And then we finished the second coat, and he calls me back later. He said, "How many coats in there?" I said, "2 coats is already done." And he said, "Come with me." I've been through all these little things here and there, right? He said, "Come to me." That goes back to the question there. He said, "Put that ladder up there, and I'll go inside the house. You go on the ladder. Look at the window header on the corner. If you see like a pencil mark, that means you didn't put the second coat on that wall." I said, "All right." I get up there, and he stick his head out the window. He looked at it and said, "There was a pencil mark right there." He said, "You guys are trustful. You guys did a beautiful job, and I'm gonna recommend you for everybody, all my friends." And I go, "That's a catch. All right?
Yeah.
It's a catch." It's like this is what people will look for. This is what one thing I hate. One thing nobody likes it is those calls back that you have to go back and finish something that was supposed to be done at the first time. That's a big friction on my point of view as a businessman. You want to move ahead, especially for painters that we don't have much time during the time. We have like a very short period of time to work, and you make sure that you get it done right. So it can only do good for you,
Exactly. Yeah. So is the audio any better for me?
It's 100% better.
Oh, really? Yeah, listen, man, the birds are chirping, the breeze is out here. I'm overlooking this beautiful wilderness, but I'm in Nowhereville. I have like horrible internet out here, and it's like this makes it very difficult. So thanks for bearing with me.
Perfect. That's
also
now. Yeah.
We've spoken about it before, but you are Brazilian, and you have is it a Brazilian coffee farm still?
Well, actually, is in the family for my wife's family is in the family for like about 4 generations.
God, that's so cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's my relaxing time when every time when I have time, I go there. It's like right up in the mountains, and we have all the 4 seasons. That's what seasons. That's what coffee needs to grow, flavor and strong. And it's been my wife's family for 4 generations, and there's people there. It's end up being my mother-in-law's properties, and she said, someday this is, it's going to be hers, my wife's, right? Of course, I'm right in there with it. So, and that's how it is. So we have a little coffee growing down here, which is like the best coffee ever. I'll give you some of the best coffee you ever drink.
I'm going to hold you to it now. What do you know of the trip? I mean, I had one trip to Brazil this year already kind of scrubbed. Like, what is the feel down there? I mean, I feel like the U.S. is coming back on board from COVID. Do you have a feel for what's going on in Brazil?
Oh, here's the thing. When you compare like one country or one city, one town from another, think of this. Brazil has about 215 million people there. It's huge. It's big.
That's a huge country, man.
You saw the trip. When you get on the airplane, when you see that little map there right on the front of the, behind other people's seat, you see the map. The airplane is like, oh man, I got into Brazil. When you got into Brazil, it's up north, Amazon.
Yep.
All the way down to my hometown where you went. It's another 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. It's like you said, I'm in Brazil. Jeez, I can't wait to get. Man, you're gonna sleep. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna sleep again, and it's gonna take about 6, 7, maybe sometime 8 hours if the weather is perfect. So it's
really asking how is Brazil doing is asking like how the United States is doing, which is I don't know. New York is still locked down, and in Texas everything's back open. It's probably the same thing.
Well, Brazil is a funny way. Brazilian heads and minds works different from anywhere around the globe. It's different. So they can't leave without going out. They can't leave and go out at night. The beaches are there. And people, they want to go and no matter what happens to them. And this really is not a good situation there right now. But over in Boston or Massachusetts or everywhere else around the United States, it took a long time for businesses to reopen. In Brazil, we're right in the middle of this pandemic, and the beaches are open, and people are there, no mask, no not. It's the situation over there now is not good. It's not good. It's South American way to live, and it's like it's not good at all. Not good at all. So. But another, go ahead.
Would you travel there now?
No, I'm not going.
Oh,
I'm not going right now.
All right, that's all I need to hear, man. Because I never get a feel of that.
Actually, for 2 reasons. Right now, it's like it's when you get first, second gear, third gear, you're going, and too much going on right now. And once I can't leave now. But during the fall or maybe the winter here, that's the time that I like to take a little break, like a week or two, go down there, see the old friends and see my coffee beans growing. And that's what I like to go. But maybe if I have to, maybe like a week or, during the summertime. But that's the most, Other than that, can't leave now.
All right, we got one more question from Daniel Anderson. He says, "What is your procedure for priming and painting old woodwork that has never been painted? What do you like to use?" So I assume we're talking about interior millwork. What is your process? What is your primer? What is your enamel, Mauro Henrique?
All right, cool. If it's like an interior old wood, first thing what I like to do, I like to put a sealer coat on. Just like, how do you use a sealer coat? Just get an oil-based primer, thin it down, let it soak in, because I imagine all the grains is open. So thin down the paint, the oil-based primer, soak it in, put like a 2 or 3 coats until you feel like it's safe. And then you put a full coat of oil primer on it again. And then because those first 2 coats just go right into the wood fiber. Just go right into the heart of the wood. And then after that, you put it like a coat of primer and just do some, some filling and see if there's any crack. Take care of that, and then spot prime it again. And then you follow up with the 2 coats of good quality paint.
What's your go-to oil primer for that, Mauro?
I like an oil-based primer from Benjamin Moore. It's it's an interior and exterior called Fast Dry Oil Primer. But I also like the cover stain from Zinsser, which is a good quality primer for interior work. Dries faster and is really easy to work with.
Agreed. It is a staple of the industry for sure. And then enamel. I use sort of like emerald trim urethane, Scuff X, Impervo, Advance, those sort of dependent. Do you have a favorite that you would use every time if you could?
If I could, every time what I would use is my old and number one paint of all times, Satin Purple Oil. All right, that's my go-to. Any chance I have, I finished a beautiful project that we painted some cabinets in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and today and tomorrow we'll deliver in the kitchen back as we use the old oil-based Satin Purple White Dove, and 18 years ago I went to refinish those cabinets, and they look like it's about 5, 6, maybe 10 years old, and the paint is there, man. It's like all you have to do is lightly sand and recoat it again, and it's going to be another 20 years ahead that you don't need to do anything. But in case I don't have, but more likely now people don't want to smell that paint. Luckily, this people has 2 houses, and they're away, and we're there, and we got the job done. But if people say, hey, I don't want you to use oil-based paint, it stinks too much, I don't, then I would go with Advance. Conventional board. Even the Scarfax is a good quality paint too. You use it. How do you think about that?
I mean, my whole office, we did an experiment on the inside of my entire house. The walls, all this paneling and everything is all Scarfax, and everything to me is a tool. It's every paint has different properties and they fit different things. This stuff is insanely user friendly, and I'm a huge fan. Also, I don't know if there's regional differences. You are in the heart of Benjamin Moore country, right there.
Yeah.
In here, Oil Impervo used to be one of my favorite paints, and it kept getting shinier and shinier here, and it leveled less and less and less. So in Minnesota, when I look back at an Impervo job from 20 years ago, it's just like dull matte. It's this beautiful thing. It's perfectly leveled out even when brushing. And when we use it today, it doesn't seem, it's shinier and it doesn't level out. So I'm just assuming that's the way oil products are going, but maybe you guys have something different at being at the heart of that. I don't know.
well, and now every time when my rep from Ben Moore, I ask them 1,000 questions. Every time they all say, hey, listen, I got this new product for you to try it on. I said, yeah, I can try it on, but if I do this kind of thing, I will do it in my own house or on my garage or a window or something there, and I'll let it sit there for a while until I check and see, hey, this works. I won't try it for any customer at all. Okay, this is what I do, because I hate a fail out. Anything that doesn't work there, I try on my own stuff and I leave it on for a while until I say, hey, that thing works. That product really works. Or I go with the thing that I know, a paint or a product that I know that will work. But I agree with you on a Satin Purple because I have a few headaches with it, especially with the darker colors. With pigmentation that was mixed this paint for me. It took about 2 weeks for the dry first coat. It was not good. Right? That was not good. I called everybody. I went and I called everybody and said, dude, what the heck is going on with this paint here? Okay. And then there's 1,000 explanations that don't make any sense. I say, yeah, talk to me like a regular people. Don't talk to me like a scientific question, because that's not part of what I do. I need to understand how long it would take to dry. And is that a very resistant paint for what we're doing, this project. So, and I end up having a lot of headaches with that. But I mean, light colors, I've been, satisfied with, but on the other hand, they are a little more shinier than before. If you put more than 2 coats, it's going to give you like a semi-gloss finish, which is not the satin and that level itself and that nice finish throughout the surface. So yeah, I agree. But I think as on the other hand is all this EPA regulations that they changing everything and they taking all the stuff out of the paint and making us just forget about the oil and go to the next line of products.
Yeah, I think we're the kind of we're the gap generation of painters where, when I started painting 28 years ago and my father's generation, you could get we used to paint wall paint with oil. You could get flat oil wall paint
Yeah.
and put it on. And it stunk up that house so bad. It was, I mean, my God. And this is back in the day where my dad didn't believe in a respirator, and he gave me a paper mask. And by the end of the day, you were just like, you know, you were just, yeah. But it's like, and now they started introducing water-based wood finishes, and they stunk. I mean, they were just horrible, man. Like the worst things ever. But now it's getting there. I mean, we're close, man. Like I was using some Klima from Ilva for exterior door finishes, water-based, super advanced finish.
What do you think about that's? I was gonna. I saw you. I saw you on Facebook, Instagram with that spraying that stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's your rate on it?
Yeah, so this is actually a situation very similar to oil and pervo, which is, you know, I'm using oil sailboat varnish, you know, the spar varnish, just like we've always done for 100 years. And on these front doors, when we refinish them, and they stink. In Minnesota, they attract bugs. You got to leave the door open. You got to come back later and then put the hardware on. And it would be like 4 trips to this house over 4 days in order to do this door. And we're fine with that. But, you know, we're thinking there has to be a way to do this better. And Zach Kenny, ZK Painting from up in your neck of the woods, he says hi, by the way.
Great professional. Great professional. I follow up. His work is like meticulous.
He's insane. He's an insane person. But we used Klima from the company Ilva. Klima is an exterior clear water-based finish for those who've never heard it, and it's sort of on the line of this weird 2K poly thing that we're all on now. But it is a one finish, and you know, in a couple hours you can either sand it and recoat it. So I took one of my most senior craftsperson there, and we did a test. Like, okay, let's take a 3-day process and turn it into a 1-day process. And we did. And you know, when you crack open a can of, they're weird cans. They're tall, they're kind of in liters. When you open it, it's white pudding and it doesn't flow and level. And you're just like, oh crap, I know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to load this up in an airless sprayer. We're going to spray it on the door, and it's going to just orange peel like crazy. Because, you know, when you see a chunky sort of, thick coating, and especially water-based, when you spray water-based clear wood finishes, they get like orange peely all the time. They never level. This stuff, you could stick a paintbrush in straight up and down. We loaded up in an airless sprayer, 311 fine finish tip, sprayed it. It leveled like the best oil varnish I've ever seen. Yeah, it's an amazing product. I used it once, and then Zach Kenny was like, you know, I go to him sometimes for that. He's on the cutting edge of the coating science. Like, all right, dude, here's my problem. 5-day process. I want it to be a 2-day process. He's like, Klima, it's good. I've used it. Let's try it again. And it was really good, man. And I will say, we've done tests. We've done other things. We've done a first full door for a client. It's good, and we're going to keep doing them this summer.
That's beautiful. And then it's an airless process. You can use an airless with this product.
Yeah, and again, it's like everything that I do is simple. Like Zach Kenny gets handmade spraying equipment that you have to be some sort of scientist to use. I just go get a Titan 440 or a Graco 390, and I got 2 different tips. We're either going to paint the siding of a house, or we're going to do the fine finishing, and one of those tips must work. So
it's the same thing, dude. Same thing here. My 440, she went hot. She comes home hot by the end of the day. You know.
Yeah, exactly, man. If you do it right, the 440's got smoke coming out of the back end, and your wrist hurts all day.
Absolutely. Back into this product. It's like those milky kind of stuff, though, like all this acrylic water-based stuff. It's all this milky look. You get is that the same thing?
That's exactly it.
Okay. And then interior and exterior, or just for exterior?
You know, it says it's an exterior product. We used it on a project this winter where most of it was exterior, but there's a few boards interior. It looks like a fine finish. It's not this sort of plasticky, gummy sort of, thing like that.
It looks like a real coat of varnish on it, right?
It does. And obviously the thing you're giving up is, I'm going to see if I can get real fancy here. And I'm going to share my screen. So this is the door we were talking about. and it's a great product. What you give up with Ilva Klima is that beautiful amber. You give up a little bit of depth and a little bit of amber, but it's still not that weird plasticky acrylic top coat kind of thing.
Right.
It does give you depth, and it does let you see the warmth of the wood, but you do miss a little. Coming from guys like us who have used sailboat varnish for decades, a little bit, but the clients would never know enough. You know, it doesn't look like a crappy door made in or finished in a factory. So
that's important. But did you end up staining that door, or the door came like that?
No, what we did, actually, this is an interesting story. This is the second time we've refinished this door. We redid it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And like you did, in the winter, I built a tent around it and I stripped it. I heated it with my fish house heater. I brought it over there. And then, you know, we just used sailboat varnish on it. And then they have a whole bunch of dogs, and the dogs just scratch the living hell out of it. So like almost all dogs do with these front doors. So yeah, we're painting the outside of the entire house. So they had us refinish it again. So this time we got to use Klima in the summer and do that. So really the door was in great shape, stripped down to nothing. Most of my people in Minnesota, we have these fur entry doors, and they prefer to strip them down to bare fur and then just let them be natural, you know, because you know how it ages so quickly. So
it's you know, natural door. Front natural door, you got to be really careful. It's like exposed to the weather and everything. Even though it's not exposed to the weather, it's going to wear it down.
Well, especially where we live too. I mean, it gets 101 and it gets -40 wind.
Nice.
And it's like, could you imagine a worse scenario for a piece of wood with clear finish?
Think like this: if you don't get yourself there a good product, right? You're gonna have that phone call. Hey, listen, what's going on here? It's been like 6 months. You know, it's like the wood is like, for you to understand how wood work is really interesting, because every different type of wood works differently, especially around here, Boston, or where you are. And it's kind of fun to understand, and you try to get the right product for, you know, to go through the like a -40 to 100 and something degrees. It's like something in between that, you know, this product works for that. I'm really happy. I'm always there. I got this thing for front doors. I don't know why, but I got this thing for front doors that it's something in my head. It said, hey, it's the main entrance of the house. It's where everybody's going to look at it. That's the first impression. And that's one thing that this product might become handy, because I like the front door to be like beautiful.
Yeah, they're almost, it's like a piece of furniture tacked to the outside of a house, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good position. That's a good thing for the front door. It's a piece of furniture outside of the door. You know?
Well, man, I took up an hour of your time. This is awesome. I'm glad that we got to talk Klima, oil primer, and now, I mean, all that stuff. This is so fun, Mauro. Would you do this again with me sometime?
Nick, we've been friends for like a year or two. You've been to my hometown. You see how we like to do things, you know, professionally talking. You guys are awesome. Like I said, I've been following up some painters on Facebook, Instagram. Like we talked earlier today or yesterday, the painters out there, they raising the bars and they pushing the quality, which is for our industry is like awesome. It's like new products, like we learn. We never know enough, you know.
Yes.
We never know enough, and there's some new projects that every day from us they start painting like way back. There's not it was limit with painting brushes. It was limit with products to use. It's like one thing good outside that everybody used, the old oil-based paint. And now, you know, the next year when I heard about first latex or water-based paint, I said, oh, there we go. It's not gonna, it's not gonna work. You know, but now, you know, we have to make ourselves adjust for all this situations, and it's a great thing. You know, I'm here, so we'll talk about I think 1 hour, half hour, 45 minutes is not enough, man. We gotta have like at least 5 hours show that we can talk about a bunch of other stuff that it's out there to say. And but I mean, our industry, as I agree from we started talking at the beginning, is being much more appreciated by everybody in the construction fields. They need us, and we need them. So finally, a lot of people are getting us the respect that we deserved a long time ago. professionals out there really taking the business serious and making things happen and get part of this whole new business is out there to grab. And there's a lot of work to do, but it's got to be done right. And like we are doing, like a lot of people, a lot of colleagues are doing out there. It's really cool. It's really cool. For us, that comes from back then. What we see today is like a lot of new renovations, a lot of new products, and just heading to the right stuff. That's what I'm up to.
Well, and listen, I'll speak on behalf of every single painter in the United States. There's 330,000 paint companies in the United States, and I'll speak for every one of them when I say thank you for being the most visible, the most vocal painter in the United States and possibly the world. You have the eyes of not only painters, but all sorts of people, just old house appreciators, people who love quality, who look for the next thing, that still have this like vision inside of them of, in a world of mass-produced houses and low-cost materials, there's still people out there who care, and you're one of them. And thank you, seriously.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much for having me here anytime, man. Just name the time and day, and we'll be here. We'll have fun. This is a really fun thing to do. At the same time, we pass on important information for other guys there. Like I said, years back, we didn't have this kind of thing. Now it's like super. It's super nice. And people appreciate, people learn, and people like to watch. And who doesn't want to find out secrets and how to do things, right?
Exactly. Well, Mauro, thanks again. Thank you to the PCA, the Paint Contractors Association, who's a big underwriter of this, and they share the same values we have, which is raising the standards of the industry, recognizing professionals, and upholding the standards of those professionals. So I'll put a link in here if you guys want more information about it. Some of the biggest changes in my life have happened ever since I got to meet people in the PCA and do the things that the PCA does. So thank you guys. It is now 1:03 in the PM in Minnesota, and it's family time for me. So I'm punching out. Mauro, I love talking to you. We're going to do this again. We will be in contact. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Anytime, Nick. Appreciate that.